Good afternoon. This is Chris Brecher with the Simpler Stocks free video for May 11th, 2016. It's about an hour and 7 minutes before the bell. I'm going to get on the live chat on the premium chat on the premium side for at least the last half hour to go over some earnings plays, some charts plays, and so on. Just to let you know of what we're seeing right now, you have the futures up 21, NASDAQ up 51, Russell up 9, as you see here. Guess what you see in here? Bonds up, market up, crude up, gold up, transports up. It's like QE all over again. Every asset class I watch is up. Not only is bonds up and gold up, but the soybeans, corn, wheat, all of them going nuts, and bonds up. If this doesn't look like some kind of asset buying, I don't know, overall, like some program, I don't know what is. But just to let you know of what I see with the overall market, this is exactly what I warned you about. When the market has this type of head and shoulders right here, but it hasn't broken down, you cannot anticipate it, especially when the market is oversold. It's created an oversold condition. The key is how the market works off its oversold condition. Does it work it off like we thought yesterday in just a real weak way? Or do you have this explosion up like all these other times we've worked off the oversold condition? Now, the first tip-off in here is one day does not make an entire market. But when you look on the right, you have to respect the short-term trend. What's the short-term trend? Just over a couple of days. Right there. This is a 29-point move. 29-point Stewie formation. We call it Stewie because when you highlight it, it looks like Stewie. The whole idea in here is this projects 29 points from the breakout. 29 points. Let me get it in here. I'm sure I added wrong or something. No, 29 gets you to 2089. So you have to understand that. Now, a lot of people were drawing it like this. Let me put it on the 39-minute and show you what a lot of people were doing was this right here. They were taking this right there and saying 29 from there, same difference in here. Put it back up here, put it on a 78, and I think you could see a mile away that this projects up to here. This projects to about 20, believe it or not, about 2090. Now, where's the first stop? 2075. Why? Because that's where the first line of resistance is, and guess what? We stopped right here. The problem is the faster a market goes down, the less resistance it has on the way up. If we hold here, we could go right to 2090. If we go to 2090, this whole head and shoulders might be invalidated for now. But let me just tell you something. Ever since QE, when you get this type of pattern, eventually later it comes back into play. So if we rally all the way up to here, once we start selling off, you better keep this in mind in here. That's all I'm saying. But for short term, sure, it looks fine. What's the other thing we mentioned in here? The NASDAQ has to start outperforming. The NASDAQ has been under its 200 moving average while the ES is over it. What's been the theme this year is for the weak ones to catch up, not the strong ones to sell off. Finally, you get some outperformance in the NASDAQ up 51 relative to the SPX is up 21. Still not a giant outperformance, but still an outperformance nonetheless. Barely an outperformance. Why do I say that? This is twice the index as this. If you want to go in here and see it better in here, right-click and go customize. And instead of net change, put in percentage change. A lot of people like me to do that anyway. And let me just show you in here what I mean. Go in here and put percentage change. This will give you a perspective of what's outperformed. Let me now move it over here. Let me get off the bid ask because it takes up too much room. There, this gives you a perfect for instance in here. Check this out. And of course it doesn't work right, so I can't show you. But that's showing like a year percentage gains or something. So the whole idea in here, let me find a different one in here. The whole idea is the NASDAQ slightly outperforming, and that's about it. So that's all I wanted to show you in here. Let me take that off. Totally distracting. So the whole idea is this is about two times this index, and it's up more than 2 times. That's a simple way to look at it. That's how you know it's outperformed. Now, where do we go from here? Number one, put up the 195, 195. Where's the objective? First stop is there. Like I said, the objective could be all the way to here, all the way to 2090. What's the objective on the right? This didn't really have a definable head and shoulders, but you got to think the first resistance is that 4,400, which is where it stopped on the way down, this area. And we're already there. If it gets over there, there's a lot of resistance all the way up. So just keep that in mind. It might be one of those grinding ups kind of situations. Now, on the other hand in here, this to me could be a play in the next week or two. Let me show you what I mean. Here's bonds holding up, like I said, because it seems like a big old asset program. Everybody wanted to short bonds down here when they were oversold. Everybody wants to buy them now when they're overbought. Put the bonds on the left and then put something like soybeans on the right. And I'm telling you, when you see that kind of rally, you got to think that the bond vigilantes are going to start watching and wondering if the Fed is going to raise earlier than they think, or are they going to let it go? If they let it go because of the Brexit vote a week after the Fed's meeting in June, this could really take off and gold could really take off, and this would make the bonds go down. Now, I'm not really a bond trader. You can trade TLT, same difference. But what would make you want to sell the bonds? That. Look at that trend line. The more times you can connect the dots, so to speak, the more significant. I love when something connects that much. Here we go again. Do not feel the urge to participate. Wait for the break. And when this breaks, it could go down a lot, at least to 164.05. Put the TLT up. If you're not a futures trader, and I think you'll see the same thing. It's not a 24-hour chart. Well, you can't see it because Thinkorswim isn't. There we go. Want you to realize this right here, the line in the sand right there. All these times it touched, the more times it touches, the more significant. If it breaks there, it goes right to 130. If it breaks there, 129.5, and then you don't want to know where it could go. 128. So definitely keep that in mind. Those are the levels I'm watching in there. So just so you know, we have that 30-day $7 free trial. And like you know in here, and you go to the actual what we have on our page is this. Let me show you in here. And what we have in here is the chat room. You have the premium videos, the email alerts, the forum, and the meetup in the learning center. Now, the forum, we bounce ideas back and forth just in a text format. The chat room is from 9 to 10 every morning. It includes a half hour before the opening, a half hour after, where I'm on for an hour live. The forum, the difference is the forum is just a question and answer back and forth where everybody can see the previous posts. You go back in here and you look at the meetup. What this is, last week was watch out for ARBs, not abs. This isn't an exercise site. Watch out, and I was showing how to arbitrage stocks. This week in here, go back in here, and you'll see I'm doing one on putting it all together, and I'm on the last hour on Friday on expiration where I can show you some tips and tricks, some unusual options, and so on. Then what we have, one of the most powerful things we have in here is stock ideas. We call it the email alerts. I post stock ideas and chart ideas, index and future charts, and unusual option activity. As anybody that's been on this site can attest, what's working now is unusual option activity. For some reason, it's working amazing the last couple of months, and we've had, a tremendous amount of winners on this. So it's really exciting. These go out as email alerts, or you can stay on the forum all day and you can see them pop up. So I hope this helps. Like I said, it's $7 for 30 days. See how you like it. We've had one of the highest retention rates after people take trials, one of the highest retention rates in the industry. So I hope you've enjoyed this. Everybody take care. I will talk to you later.